Good evening and welcome to the Beach Institute lecture series and Habaragani. What is the news? The news tonight is a lecture on Kwanzaa and it's titled Kwanzaa, a celebration of family and community. Thank you so much for being with us. I'd like to establish protocol, and whenever we have any type of African-centered or Kwanzaa celebration, we always start by remembering and honoring the Creator, so we start with prayer. We thank you, Lord, for tonight, and we just praise you for bringing us to this place, a time and a place, in the midst of all that is going on, that we can lift each other up, that we can celebrate the beauty of who we are. And we just thank you, oh God, that you have brought us through storms, and it's been a difficult year, but you are still with us, and you always bring us through trouble seen and unseen. God, I pray that you would be with us this evening, and that you would bless us, open our minds, and help us to learn and accept, and just thank you for this opportunity. It's in your name that we pray. Amen. So, the second thing that we would always do in any kind of Kwanzaa celebration is we would remember those who came before us. The great freedom fighter Fannie Lou Hamer said that there are two things that we should never forget. Number one, who we are, and number two, those bridges that have brought us safely across. We come from a people who are strong, that have been beaten but never broken, cast down but not destroyed. We come and we stand on the shoulders of giants. So this evening we remember some of those who we come from. We remember Queen and Zaynab, and what we'll do is as we pour, this is called libation, and in any Kwanzaa celebration we always start out with prayer and then libation. We always pour, the water symbolizes the name of the person that you call. We all were created from dirt, we all return back to the dirt, and as we pour the water and call the person's name, we say Ashe. Ashe is a Yoruba word, which means amen, or so let it be. So I'll start with my family. Annie Cooper, my great-grandmother, Ashe. Roland Cooper, Ashe. Lillian Walker, Ashe. Annis Cooper, Ashe. I remember all of our ancestors that died in our Holocaust, the Middle Passage. Those who came across the ocean, some who were run over, some who jumped over and realized that death was better than bondage. We say to all of those, Ashe. We also remember other people from our history, Queen and Zaynab. We remember also David, we remember John Lewis, we remember David Davis, we remember Ron Twice. We remember those who come from our history. We remember and we say it in one word, in one voice, Ashe. Ashe, Ashe, so let it be, amen, Ashe, and Ashe. Okay. So, Kwanzaa is a holiday, it's an act where we come together and we celebrate who we are. The term Kwanzaa, that means collective harvest. Batunya ya Kwanzaa, we celebrate our collective harvest. It is not a religious holiday. It is a holiday that celebrates who we are as a people. So when others come to the table with their holiday and their unique holidays, we come to the table clothed in our own unique holiday. It was created in 1966 by Maulana Ron Karenga from California State University. And it was created in the height of the Pan-African movement. It was about remembering and celebrating history, culture, tradition, and who we are. There are 5 reasons that we come together. As we come together, Kwanzaa beckons us to ask 3 fundamental questions. Number 1, who am I? Number 2, am I really who I say I am? And number 3, am I all that I ought to be? We must all ask ourselves as African people descendants of Adam. Who am I? And that's not just a personal and individual priority. It's in the context of community. Who am I? Who am I? What do I value? What do I bring? Where do I fit within the context of community? Who am I? Who do I come from? What is my history? Who am I? What do I value? The second question is, am I really who I say I am? We must ask ourselves during Kwanzaa, and we reflect, am I really who I say I am? Am I a person of authenticity? Am I real? What is the essence of me? Not just what I show, but who am I? Who am I? And am I all? Are we all that we ought to be? Are we really giving? And are we really liberating and moving forward and moving our people forward and doing all that we can, using our resources, our times, our gifts that God, the Creator, has given us to make a difference in our community? Those are the three questions that we must ask during this season of Kwanzaa. When we think about Kwanzaa, there are really 5 reasons why we come together to celebrate Kwanzaa. Number 1, to remember the Creator. Because if it were not for the Creator, He is everything and He is the Creator and sustainer of all that we are. Number 1. Number 2, when we come together during Kwanzaa, we come together to remember the bridges that brought us across. Those whose shoulders we stand upon. So whenever we do Kwanzaa, we always do libation and remember our ancestors. Those who made the way for us, those who beat the path that we now walk. The third reason that we come together during Kwanzaa is to remember and celebrate the harvest. What we have created this year, what we have accomplished, to sit back and reflect and thank God and for what He has given us. And this has been a rough year. In the midst of a pandemic, our community has been hurt. We as a people, we've been hurt. And there are so many disparities that have already been in existence, but that just magnified the has affected our community and how we have been disproportionately affected by this community, But we still have so much to be grateful for. We still remember in the midst of that, we still accomplish, we still move forward, we still stand, we still thrive and not just survive. So we remember our harvest. There is also a reason that we remember each other and we celebrate one another. And the fifth reason is a time that we reflect and we recommit ourselves to our core and fundamental values. And those are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is celebrated from December the 26th through January the 1st. And during every day of Kwanzaa, the first principle of Kwanzaa, there's 7 principles of Kwanzaa. The first principle of Kwanzaa is umoja. The language of Kwanzaa is Swahili. Umoja means unity. It means that we will always do as much as we can in every way that we can to promote unity, to promote community in our family, to promote unity in our community, in our race, in our world. What are you doing to promote unity? I am because we are, and we are because I am. There's a proverb that says when spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. When we walk in unity as a community and as a people, there is so much that we can accomplish. Unity is the foundational, it's the first principle of Kwanzaa, celebrated on the 26th. It is the foundational principle of Kwanzaa. Without unity, all the other 6 principles of Kwanzaa suffer. The second principle of Kwanzaa is Kuchi-Chakwalia. Kuchi-Chakwalia, which is celebrated on the 27th of December. It means self-determination, that we will speak for ourselves, that we will name ourselves, that we will define ourselves, defend ourselves, and develop ourselves. We will not be spoken for, named by others. We must be a self-determining people if we are to really liberate and move our community forward. We speak for we. So Gullah said, we speak for we. We must tell our story. We must defend and define and develop ourselves. It is up to us. We can't rely on anybody else. We must define what is right for our families and what is right for our community. We must be, and we must recommit ourselves to Kuchi-Chakwalia. Kuchi-Chakwalia is a practice and a commitment. Self-determination. Self-determination requires that we recover lost memory. We remember where we are and where we come from. And that connects us and builds us in the principle of Kuchi-Chakwalia. The third principle of Kwanzaa is Ujima. And Ujima is celebrated on the 28th of December. And Ujima is collective work and responsibility. It means that we will develop and maintain our community together. That we will build, develop, and maintain our community together. That we will make our brothers and sisters' problems our own. That we will creatively find ways to solve those problems together. That's powerful. We can no longer have the attitude, I got mine. We need each other. And as Ujima dictates that not only do we step up, that we lift as we climb. That we remember that if our brothers and sisters, they're hurting, that we hurt. When they stand, we stand together. When they fall, we fall together. We will maintain and build our communities together. Our families, our communities. Ujima. Ujima. The fourth principle of Kwanzaa is Ujama. And Ujama is cooperative economics. It means that we will build our own businesses. We'll sustain those businesses, and that we will profit from those businesses together. It means that we will support each other, that we will build each other. We will support Black-owned businesses. I am so tired of hearing about poverty reduction. I want to hear more about wealth building. And how do we build wealth in our community? Through business development, developing small businesses. In the Asian community, the dollar stays in the Asian community for 28 days. In the Jewish community for 19. In the African American community, 6 hours. This year, during Kwanzaa and throughout the year, we must commit ourselves to supporting our own businesses. It's so important that we build businesses that we support. It's not always easy, but we must support our own. We must support our own businesses. Cooperative economics. Cooperative economics, Ujama, celebrated on the 29th of December. And the fifth principle of Kwanzaa is nia, purpose. And we understand without purpose, we are scattered. We are distracted. Purpose means that we will make our purpose the restoring of our community, to restore our people to their traditional greatness. We come from a people who built civilizations, Kush, Timbuktu, Songhai. We come from a people who came up with mathematical principles. We come from a strong, brilliant, and mighty people. We must restore our people to the traditional greatness. And even in our communities, there was a time where our community, right here in Savannah, there were a plethora of Black-owned businesses right on MLK. Our thriving businesses everywhere. Right before integration. But when we integrated, we moved over to their business, but they didn't move over to ours, and we no longer supported ours. So we must restore our community. We must restore community in our community. A time when one of the things that concern me now is that there is a lack of community. Our community is not what it used to be. It used to be a place of solace, a place that we went for refuge. But our community needs to be restored. I grew up, shout out to my East Savannah peeps, in East Savannah. And when I grew up, I literally knew everyone on my street and on the street. I grew up on Iowa Street. I knew everybody on my street and everybody on the street over, but that is not the case anymore. And we know things change. But not only did I know those folks, but we really cared about each other. If I got home early, I knew I could go right next door and get a sandwich. I knew that somebody was going to be looking out for me. What happened? We need to restore the unity that once was in our community, the sense of solidarity that at one point existed in our community. We must restore our community. We must do what is necessary to restore our neighborhoods, restore our people, restore our community. That is Gullah. The sixth principle of Kwanzaa is celebrated on the 31st. Kuumba, or creativity. It means that we will use the creative genius that God has given all of us. We all have tremendous gifts and so much that we can give to make our community more built and make our community more beautiful than it was when we first inherited. It means that we will use our resources, our gifts, our time to give back to our community. We talked about it, but we must be about it. To make our community more beautiful than it was when we first inherited. Wow. And the last principle of Kwanzaa is celebrated on the 1st of January. Some people say that's the first principle of Kwanzaa, the first principle of the year, and that is Imani. Faith that we will believe in our parents, our teachers, our elders, and the justice of our cause. That we will believe. And I would say this, without Imani, all the other principles will not, you can't carry out all the other principles, you can't walk in all the other principles if you don't have faith. So I think it's interesting that Umoja is one book in and Imani is the other. Because you need unity and you need faith. You have to believe in the righteousness of our cause. Believe in our people. Believe in our community. Believe. It takes belief and a strong belief to walk in unity. Otherwise, you will be scattered and there will be dysfunction and disharmony. But we need to have faith in each other. Faith is what we need. Imani. that we will believe in one another, the righteousness of our cause. So those are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. The first principle is umoja, unity. The second principle, which is celebrated on the 26th. The second principle is kuchichakulia, self-determination. 27th, the 28th, December the 28th, we celebrate Ujima, collective work and responsibility. On the 4th night of Kwanzaa, the 29th of December, we celebrate Ujama. On the 5th night of Kwanzaa, which is the 30th, we celebrate what is Nia. The 6th principle of Kwanzaa, which we celebrate on the 31st, is Kuumba. And the 7th principle, Imani. Now, these are not principles that we just celebrate during Kwanzaa, but they are a part of our value system. We live these principles throughout the year. Umoja, unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, creative purpose, creativity, and faith. I did want to mention that on the 31st, there's usually a Kuruma feast. And if you're doing a community Kwanzaa, everybody comes together, there's music, drumming, creative expression, music, and food. Everybody comes together to celebrate on the 31st. And we have a big feast, the Kuruma feast. And everybody brings a dish. It's a wonderful opportunity to get together, celebrate, eat. There's no better way to celebrate one another than over a good meal. So I know that we're doing social distancing this year, but I encourage you to do the Kuruma feast with your family. I encourage you to celebrate Kwanzaa with your family. Not just but celebrate and embrace the principles of Kwanzaa, live Kwanzaa throughout the year. Just as there are 7 principles of Kwanzaa, there are also 7 symbols of Kwanzaa. So let's walk through the 7 symbols of Kwanzaa. The foundational principle of Kwanzaa, symbol should I say, is the makika, and that is the straw mat. So it can be either a straw mat, or if you don't have a straw mat, you can use a piece of cloth, a piece of cloth. And that symbolizes our tradition and our culture and our history. So that is the foundation. And all of the other symbols should be connected to the makika. Then you have the Kukumba Cha Umoja, or the unity cup. And this is the cup that you use, it's usually wooden, to pour libation. And this symbolizes the first principle of Kwanzaa, which is umoja. Then you have the mosaic, and those are the fruit and the vegetable. Whatever fruit and vegetable you have, that's what you use. That represents our collective harvest, the harvest that we sowed and reaped this year. Seed that we planted, and this is our harvest. Okay? Then we have the Kanara. The Kanara represents the African people that we descend from. Then we have the Nguzo Saba. The Nguzo Saba represents the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Then we have the Zawadi, which are the gifts. And usually the gifts are educational gifts. Kwanzaa is not a commercialized holiday. If gifts are given, they're given to the children to reward them for the work they're working and what they've accomplished for the year. Is usually either a handmade gift or some type of educational gift. Then we have the Mukumbe, which is the corn. And the corn represents the children. So even if you don't have a child in your home, you still need to have the corn on your Kwanzaa table. The corn represents our future. So those are your 7 symbols of Kwanzaa. Okay? I also have another, this is a gift, a handmade gift also. There are also 2 other supplemental symbols that can be a part of your Kwanzaa table. And that is the bandera, or the Pan-African flag. It was given to us by Marcus Garvey. And it's the red, black, and green flag. The red represents the struggle that we as African people have always been involved in, the struggles. The green represents our future, the African land. And the red, green, and the black represents Africa, where we come from, the land Africa. So, and then we have one other symbol, supplemental symbol that can be on your Kwanzaa table, and that is a poster of the Nguzo Saba, or the 7 symbols, or the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. So, when you do Kwanzaa, when you celebrate Kwanzaa, it's important that remember that the black candle, that represents the first principle of Kwanzaa. It's in the middle, emotion. The candles should be to the left, should be red. The candles to the right should be green. So when you light the candles of Kwanzaa, you always light the emotion candle first, like that. And then each night, you would light a candle for whichever principle that we will celebrate, that we're celebrating that evening. So you would use your, like, the Kucha Chocolate. So this is how you would, first you would light the emotion candle, and then you would go from the left to the right. So it would be emotion, Kucha Chocolate, Ujima, Ujama, Nia, Kuumba, and Iman. If you're going to do a principle, if you're going to do a program, there's certain protocol, but you do it, you celebrate it, it doesn't matter. One of the things that makes Kwanzaa a unique holiday is that it doesn't matter what your background, your religious background, you're Christian, Muslim, we all celebrate. I am a Christian, so I have a Christmas tree, I celebrate Christmas as well. But whatever you do, you make it yours. It is your tradition, but there are certain protocols that should be in place for Kwanzaa. We always start out with prayer. We always remember the ancestors. And then we would acknowledge the elder. And then we would go on for each night. We would light the Christmas. We normally would have a child. Child should be involved, or children should be involved in the Kwanzaa celebration, and they would light the candle. It doesn't have to be that way, but it should. If a child is there, let the child light the candle. An elder or someone would speak about the principle. You might have some type of creative expression. You have a drummer, you do drumming, you reflect on the principle of the night. So, those are your 7 symbols of Kwanzaa, and your 7 principles, and your 7 symbols. So, one of the things that we would always do is we would always do some type of creative expression. So I like to do, because Kwanzaa is fundamentally about remembering. It's fundamentally about celebrating and remembering. So I would like to do a monologue that I oftentimes do. And it's a monologue. I want you to remember those who came before us. So I'd like to do a monologue to honor those who came before us. I want us to remember. And I want you to think as if someone is coming back to speak to you this evening. So listen. Children, I come back today to tell you the story of the long, dark way that I had to find, that I had to know, in order that my people might live and grow. Look at my face, dark as the night, is shining like the sun who loves true light. You see, I am the child that they stole from the sand some 300 years ago in Africa's land. And I am the dark girl who crossed the wide sea, carrying in my body the seed of the free. I am the woman who worked the fields, bringing the corn and the cotton to yield. I am the one who labored as a slave, beaten, mistreated for the work that I gave. You see, 300 years ago, in the deepest South, God put a dream and a prayer in my mouth. God put a dream like steel in my soul. Now, through my children, I'm reaching my goal. Now, through my children, young and free, I realize the blessings that were denied to me. I couldn't read then, and I couldn't write. I had little or nothing back there in the night. Sometimes children and parents, oh, they were filled with tears, but I had to keep trudging on through the lonely years. And sometimes the road was hot, the sun, but I had to keep on until my work was done. No, there was no stopping me, for I carried the dream of becoming free. I nourished the dream that no man could smother. Deep in my heart, the Gullah. I had only hope then. But now, through you, my children of the day, you see my dreams, they can come true. All you children in the world are there. Remember my pain, my sweat, my despair. Remember my years heavy with sorrow. And you make of those years a torch for tomorrow. Make of my past a road to the light, out of the ignorance, the darkness, the night. Lift high my banner, out of the dust, and you stand like free men and women supporting my trust. Remember, don't care what they say, children. Don't let them ever forget. Don't let them ever tell you to forget. Remember what I went through. Remember the pain that I went through. Remember the whip and the slavish stripe. Remember those in their struggle and strife that still may try to bar you the way and deny you life. The march forever forward, breaking down bars. Look forever upward at the sun and the stars. For I will be with you until no other dare to keep down the child of a Gullah. Remember, as I say, and I do that monologue, I would encourage you, remember, as I brought that ancestor's voice back tonight. Tonight is about remembering and honoring who we are and where we came from. Remember, never forget. And as you remember, you move forward to build a better tomorrow for our children, for your children, for my grandchildren and your grandchildren. Let's stand on the principles of the Nguzo Saba. Never forget, as we move forward and as we accomplish and as we do what we do, remember to carry with you those who came before you and to take those 7 principles and make them a part of your value system. Not just something that you celebrate and you talk about and you honor during Kwanzaa, but always. And what are those? Let's go over it one more time. Umoja, unity. Always walk in unity. It's not always easy, but we need more unity in our community. And unity means that we must move forward, we must put behind pettiness and move in one voice, move in unity. And that's not always easy. That means that we have to forgive and reconcile, but we must move in unity. Kucha Chakalia, we must be a self-defining people. We can no longer allow people to tell us what's right for us in our community. We must be a self-defining people. Number 3, Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We have to be about the business of building and developing our community together. None of us are any further along if we are no stronger than our weakest link. We must not only get, but we must lift as we climb. Ujama, we must be about supporting Black-owned businesses. We must be about supporting our businesses. We must do it. Ujama. 5th, we must be about purpose, restoring our people. Number 6, Kuumba, using the gifts, the creativity that God has given all of us to make a difference, to make our community better. We can no longer afford to be selfish. Time out. And faith. Imani. We must believe in each other. We must believe in each other. We must remember to honor our elders and our teachers and our parents. We must believe in the righteousness of our cause. Remember the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Ashe, 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 and Ashe, and Ashe, and Ashe. Can we take questions? Anybody has any questions?
Yeah, you can post them on Facebook or in the messenger on Zoom.
You can read out the questions. I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Okay, if you put your questions out there, I will go back. I'm not that savvy when it comes to, let me see if I can pull them up on my Facebook feed. If you have any questions, if anybody has any questions, normally I would stop at this point for questions. I feel like I've been talking forever. Are there questions, please? No. We always end in our Harambe circle. Harambe is Kiswahili for let's pull together. And we always end with Harambe 7 times. But I do want to bring to your attention, before we do our Harambe close, I want to acknowledge that we will be, I want to bring to your attention that we will also be doing something at the Beach Institute. All of it will be virtual every night of Kwanzaa from 6 until 6:30. And I also want to acknowledge Alderwoman Keisha Carter Gibson is doing this, she's doing something that's called a Kwanzaa Crawl, where we're going to be supporting different African-American owned restaurants for each night of Kwanzaa. And I will post that on my Facebook page, so please support that as well. Opportunity to give back and do some ujama for real. So, I guess if no one has any questions, I will go ahead and do the 7 Harambes. That's how we always close our Kwanzaa. We always get in our circle, and we would do our Harambe. And Harambe is a Kiswahili phrase, which means let's pull together. So, We're gonna pretend like we're gonna pretend like we're in a circle. We're gonna go ahead and do that. We do it 7 times because 7 is a number of completeness. Okay? Hey people, I feel good about my community. We will walk forward and we will uplift the principles of the Nguzo Saba. Harambe! 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 Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you on December the 26th at 6:30. Tune in. Thank you. God bless. Asante Sana. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings.